Welcome to How's Your Presents. This show was produced by Business Radio X, and I am Mark Galvin, your host. We are coming to you live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel, and it is an exciting time. We are in the spring in Atlanta. It is getting warm. Wait a minute. No, it's not getting warm in Atlanta. We're in the middle of April, and we are fighting a cold wave. So life is not exactly as it should be, but that is okay. We are glad you are here because we have a terrific show for you today. What do we do here on How's Your Presents? We talk about business, how to help you do something a little better. Oftentimes, we're talking about marketing. We talk about social media, of course, talk about a lot of digital marketing. But today, you're going to want to pay attention to this show because we've got a guest that really will help you on a lot of facets of your business. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel. We have a library of shows there, all of them set up so that you can find an answer for, especially anything on your marketing side. If you're trying to find a way to run a better email campaign, you want to understand better how to run your SEO better, go check out our YouTube channel. We have somebody there that has been able to talk about that and answer that question. Also, we have a wonderful set of podcasts, so check out our podcast channel as well. If you're here for the first time, I'd love for you to pop into the chat box there on wherever you are listening to us from. Drop in and let us know where you are. Are you in Birmingham, Alabama? Or are you in San Diego, California? Love to know where you're joining us from today. And if you have a question, go ahead and drop that question into the chat box. I've got my computer sitting actually I have my iPad, close enough, sitting in front of me where I can watch your comment pop up on the screen, and I'll throw it at our guest. So what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about how to build and grow a company. Wow. I think I would like to hear more about that, especially those of you, maybe you're out there, you're an entrepreneur in heart. You haven't started your own business, but you want to, you're going to want to stick around. Here's better yet. There's probably a lot of business people that have been in business for a couple years. You're running into a couple of roadblocks. I've got an answer. I've got a perfect guest, better yet, perfect guest that will help you through that difficult time today. So who is that? Our guest today is Carl Nicpon. He is with Brio Business Academy. Carl's the president and founder of said organization. He's an adjunct professor at the MBA program at Terry College of Business, which is at UGA here in the state of Georgia. He was previously the owner and co-CEO of Savvi Brands. They have 3 different groups in that company. It's Savvi Formalwear, Anya Bridal Warehouse, and Tuxedo Central. So just a reminder, wherever you are, if you'd like to throw a question at us, just drop it right there on the screen, and I will throw it at Carl. But I think I've done enough talking. Let's bring Carl to the screen. Carl, welcome.
It's great to be here, Mark.
I'm so glad you were able to join us. Now, you're in Atlanta, so you're a guy that lives, I should say, around the corner. That's probably a little bit of an oversimplification. But here in Atlanta, you've been in Atlanta a little while. Is that right?
Born and raised.
Born and raised. You're a native.
I tried to get away. Yeah, after college, tried to hang out in Chicago for a little bit.
Okay. Well, why didn't you stay in Chicago?
Mostly because I was finally able to convince my wife, and it did take some convincing, that in fact, Atlanta was a better place to raise children.
Oh, good.
You didn't have to put snowsuits on them every time you wanted to go to the drugstore, grocery store.
You know, what is that? Is that the Christmas Story where the kid gets his tongue frozen to the pole?
Sounds painful.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Did that really happen in Chicago?
I don't know that we had that happen, but I tell you, we had some really cold moments.
Yeah, that place is definitely a lot colder than Atlanta. Well, listen, I'm glad you moved back to Atlanta. You and I crossed paths, now a few years ago, as you were starting to ramp up. And is it okay if I shorten it to Brio?
Yeah, you can totally call it
the
Brio.
The whole name is Brio Business Academy. Very important you remember that. But when you were thinking about starting Brio, there was a lot of motivators to that. So I always love to ask all of our guests, what do you do and why do you do it?
Yeah. So what we do is we empower business people to start and grow their business.
Okay.
And we do that by bringing together a community of successful entrepreneurs who themselves are like have a mission for themselves to pay it forward, to give back, to, help out newer business owners along the way.
Good. So a community. So that means that you're not doing all this yourself. Is that right?
Well, you know what? It's funny that you say that, because one of the places that I've noticed that sometimes happens in this arena is that there are a few organizations, in fact, that try to do it around one central figure or a small group. And, if you start or run a business, you realize quickly that you can't do it all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, what kind of people have helped you? Who are those folks? What are the expertise they bring to the table?
From every aspect of business. So there's folks in the accounting and finance side, folks in technology. We've got experts who, one of our experts is like a 7-time CEO. Wow. And has, engineered multiple exits for, many digits.
Bravo. Yeah.
And folks who really, like I said, have a heart for, let's help you make your business better. So it includes marketing, and operations, really any aspect of your business.
All right. So there's a lot more to be learned about Brio. We really haven't jumped into it. But before we get into the granular pieces of what you do and why people should be interested in this and how you can help them, tell me this. What was it? What was the groundswell where did this come from, and how did Brio get started?
Okay. Well, so maybe to turn it back just a hair.
Okay.
I should also answer the other question you asked.
Yeah. What was that?
I dodged earlier, which is, why do you do it?
Oh, there we go. I forgot that part. That's on me. I'm the host. I'm supposed to do that to you. Yes. Why do you do this?
Great question, Mark. I'm so glad you asked. So, why we do it is because I believe that business ownership is the key to freedom in life.
Oh, wow.
And really, if you look at it, business ownership is the key to being able to do what you love, to choose who you work with.
Yeah.
It's the key to being able to manage your time,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and for unlimited financial reward.
Wow. Oh, that as a business owner, right? Yes. Check. But sometimes the business has a tendency to control us, right? I'll never forget when I started my company, I was talking to another business owner, and I said, I'm so excited. I'm going to be my own boss. And she said, no, your customers are now going to be your boss.
That's right.
So there is a sense of trying to learn, how do I create this ecosystem that will help me control my time, allow me to do what I want to do, meet the financial requirements that I have personally, and a successful organization. And I'm going to tell you what, that's just not that easy.
It's not. It's not. But here's the thing, there are enough challenges and risks going into business.
Yeah,
it is risky. Yeah.
100%.
There's enough as it is. So I always say, why try to scratch your knees and, bump and fall on all the things that people before us have already figured out?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
And I part of it is that we really believe that business ownership shouldn't be limited to a select few.
Mm-hmm.
It really is something that anyone can take on. And yet, if you talk to people, a lot of people say they have dreams of owning a business, but think that that's just not attainable for them.
Right.
And we want to make it really available for anybody who's got the heart and the passion and the will to do it.
I remember working in the hotel business, because I did that for some 28 years. And when you work in a hotel with hundreds of people in the building and all these different departments throughout the building, accounting and engineering and operations and food and beverage and blah, 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 human resources, it is complex. Mm-hmm. And I walked around a hotel for many, many years thinking, this is way too complex. I would not be able to start this on my own. Now, here I am 7 years into ePresence, started the company after I went to a smaller company and realized that, and honestly, this may really sound cheap, but I don't need to check all the boxes that you have to check at a 700-person organization. When you're running an 8-person organization, it's a whole different level of commitment, right? And that levels of a commitment is there's an ebb and flow to that. But yeah, and I think one of the things I learned is you got to resource up. You have to realize where can you go that you can tap to say, I don't know how to do this. Should I hire somebody? Should I learn to do it myself? Do you help with that?
Absolutely.
How?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, as a business owner, you have to figure out, okay, exactly what you just said. What of this could I do on my own? What of this should I do on my own?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to do it on my own, well, what are the right steps? Now, we can go out and what's amazing is that, there's information available all over the web.
Right.
And so a lot of us go searching the web. Now, unfortunately, there's no one out there,
Professor Google. Right. Yeah.
that's able to say this is good stuff
Right.
or not good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I
part
call
of
that being curated, right?
That's right.
This, a curation, somebody that was looking at the content, evaluating it would say, this is good. Pay attention to this.
Yeah. So we've done the work of looking for what's real and what should be avoided. We've done that curation for you. We've brought it all together into one platform.
Okay.
And that makes it now easy to go and do things on your own. And then B, when you're looking for, okay, I think I want somebody else to help me with this aspect, be smart enough to know how to ask the right questions and ferret out, is this person you're talking to worth your time and energy and money?
Yeah, that's good.
And
so how does this work? If I become is it a membership
Yep.
organization? Okay, so I get a membership and it's online. What's the website?
BrioBusinessAcademy.com.
All right. So BrioBusinessAcademy.com. I go there, I get a membership, and what's going to happen next? What am I going to see?
So what you're going to do is you're going to choose your first course. All our courses are set up so there are no prerequisites. And we really believe that as business owners, right, people want to do things their own way.
Sure.
So we give them the freedom to choose what excites them the most or what they think they need the biggest help with,
themselves.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I don't need to go to the digital marketing page.
I would think not.
I need to go to the financial page. How do I set up finances?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you go where you think you need to work on in your business at the stage that you're in.
Okay.
And the other piece about it is that it really does target all the stages of business development. So, if you're thinking about you're just in the dreaming stages, right? And you want to try to sort out for yourself, is this going to work? Should I invest the next few years of my life? Because it is investment of time in your life and your energy and all that. Should I do that? It's a great place to start. You might also be someone who's already launched and, you've kind of bumped into those things where you're like, wow, this is a little more difficult than I anticipated it would be.
Right.
There must be an easier way.
Right.
And, you're trying to figure out how to optimize things. All of that is all incorporated and available.
I did not think of this. It makes good sense to join your site and really look at how can I get ready for business. So I could pop onto your site, join it, go through the beginning stages of starting a business and determine whether maybe I don't want to do all that, right? That could also answer that. And I'm guessing, does your site answer questions like, here are the things that you should consider. Here's the market research that you should do, why you should do it. How do you do that market research? Determine whether there's actually a customer there. Actually, that's one of the biggest things out there is, who is your customer,
right?
And developing that avatar.
Precisely.
And so does your system do that? And if it does that, who's running these classes?
So that's all great questions. Yes, absolutely.
Wait a minute, I'm just going at it, man. I'm totally off the script now.
That's okay. Who needs a script? Okay. Well, so in answer to your question, who does these things are only successful entrepreneurs who have, made a commitment in their lives to now give back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, when you look at who's this for, let's rule out a couple folks.
Okay.
Let's rule out the folks like, the folks who have access to angel funding in the millions of dollars. They can put together a star-studded team and they can, go pay lots of money to their team before they even have a product on the shelf, right?
Got it. Okay.
I
not
wouldn't
your
suggest
avatar.
Brio.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. But this could be for someone who is say fresh out of school and says, you know what, I've got the space in my life to try something. There's not a lot of responsibilities I have. I want to go start something new. How could I do that? Right. That's one group it could be for. It could also be for someone who's mid-career and they're like, you know what, I'm ready for a change.
Yeah.
I'm sick of seeing all the red tape tie stuff up and I just want to be able to move stuff forward faster. I could do that if I were out on my own. They might also be someone who's, gotten out there. I think of my mom. So, I always get moved when I think about her. So forgive me if I get a little leaky eyed.
Oh, take your time.
My dad died when I was a teenager.
Okay.
We had the company at that point for 18 years. And my mom and her brother were partners all of a sudden. And they were second generation.
Was your mother working in the business before this?
She was working in the business.
Okay.
But part-time.
Yeah. Okay.
She was doing the advertising.
Got it.
And, back then it was like placing ads in the yellow pages.
Like
that was
stuff.
advertising.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but here she is, never having graduated college.
Wow.
And she's running an operation with, 14 stores and presence across the Southeast.
Organization. Yeah.
And yet she would go into meetings all the time and she'd come out saying, I felt like the dumbest one in the room. And
it's too bad, actually. She was probably a lot smarter than she gave herself credit for.
She was.
Yeah.
But she also didn't understand some of the language that was being spoken.
Smoked and spoken.
Smoke and mirrors.
There was
spoken.
probably some smoking
there
going
might
on
have
back
been.
in those days.
Well, that was my uncle. He was he had the cigar.
Sure.
But yeah, so I learned over time when I came into the business, I learned how to help her get her questions answered right there in those meetings without her feeling like she should have already known.
Right.
That took something.
Sure.
And
I get that.
And so, Brio could also be for the business owner who has, and may even be successful, but still has questions like,
Right.
I wish I understood better how to do this. And so, if I look at how Brio got started, the answer to that is, well, here I am. I just been a business owner. I'm in front of students all the time. And people are asking me, how do I blank? When it comes to starting a business, how do I blank? Most of their questions, Mark, aren't about big strategy. Most of their questions are nuts and bolts kinds of things.
Sure.
Like, how do I register? Should I be an LLC or,
absolutely.
Should I, what's this thing about an S Corp? How does that play out? Right. I need some insurance, but all these terms that I don't quite understand. So what are they?
Great questions. Yeah.
So all these are the kinds of things that we now help you through in Brio. And none of it is about just learning knowledge. That's why it's so powerful, is because if you know anything about learning, when you look at Bloom's taxonomy, right, creation is the highest form of learning. We're not interested in just giving people knowledge. We want them to create something.
Wow.
So our courses are videos that give them step-by-step instructions. I was a Lego geek growing up.
Sure.
And I really feel like a lot can be handled by a simple instruction book. And that's what these videos do. They give you the knowledge and the background and the tools to apply and then make that happen in your business. So
I love that.
There's a course on creating your business plan. And at the end of that course, you'll actually have written your business plan. You won't know how to do it. You won't have a great idea how to do it. You will have written your business plan.
Oh, I think that's terrific. Well, folks, you are watching How's Your Presence on Business Radio X. We are here with Carl Nicpon of Brio Business Academy. We're talking about his brand new venture. It's really, you know what? It's a business college. That's how I see it. It's a business college for folks that want to learn those a la carte things that they need to learn more about. I hope you're enjoying this. If you've caught us online and you have a question, just throw it right in the comments field, and I'll be happy to serve that right up to Carl. Starting a business is hard. Actually, it's funny. It wasn't hard. To truth be known, it wasn't hard. I started my business. It wasn't difficult to start. It was difficult to succeed. Right. So starting a business is easy enough. You can get the questions answered, the simple ones in the beginning, and and start to roll. But then figuring out how to really make it click is one of those biggest challenges, and one that, you know what, is always a journey. For the record, I actually tell a lot of people that starting a business is not for the faint of heart.
It is not.
My problem is I have a faint heart.
I don't think you're alone.
All right, so we just talked about starting a business is difficult. What have you seen are the biggest obstacles to succeeding as a business owner?
Well, I think that, I don't know, I'd call this an obstacle so much as a challenge,
Okay.
that business owners are constantly navigating. And if I sum it up in one word, it's balance.
Ooh.
And here's what I
like
mean.
that.
A business owner has to be someone who's great at developing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
They also have to be fantastic at execution. And those two are complete opposites.
Totally.
They have to be great with being able to hold a big picture while being able to drill down all the way to boots on the ground and small step-by-step actions.
Gosh, this happened to me recently. Yes.
Yeah. They have to be, able to work on their own and self-directed, and being able to like close the door and do some critical thinking. And they have to be able to bring together a team of people, even if they're working on their own, they still have to be able to bring together, colleagues and getting people to play together.
Nobody, well, I should say nobody. There's very few businesses that are out there where you're a sole proprietor and you do it all on your own. That's true. You need other people and you're involved. If not anything, a bookkeeper.
Right.
As an example. Sure.
Right. And, you have to be someone who can be very structured, because you're not going to get anything done if there's no structure.
Right.
But you have to be able to dance, and you have to be fluid and be able to move when things shift and there's a roadblocks in your way. You got to find a creative way around it. It was not in your plan.
Right.
So I would say that a lot of that just comes down to one of the fundamental challenges anyway of being a business owner is being able to balance.
So I'm really, this is the sort of thing that I think is extremely fascinating because of being in business as I have been. I'm sure you've had challenges, right? As a business owner, right? So you're someone that was able to grow into your space, all right, and being able to step into a company that your mother was running. She was probably pretty happy you showed up, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Is that true?
She was, yes.
I'm guessing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that from my own mother. My mom had her own company and asked me to take it over. And I said, no. She had a technology.
I resisted for quite a while. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I did.
I not only did I resist, I didn't do it, but I should have. I could have changed that. But
well, I thought my calling was just, education and service in religious environments. So
sure,
that's where I thought I was headed. And
and the next thing you know,
didn't land up.
You could do, and you probably did all those things as a leader of a company.
Yes.
Didn't you?
Because you're constantly, you're educating people, training people, nourishing them, feeding them, spiritually developing them. We want our team to be fulfilled.
Right.
And
of course.
And the best way you can have people be fulfilled is have them succeed. And one of the key things that the business owner can do to have people succeed is help them deal with the stuff that's in their way, not move it for them.
Yeah. Good.
Because, look, it's very gratifying to be the one who can jump in and, put on the cape and move it for them. What does that teach them? It teaches them that they really can't do it on their own. They can't handle it. And that's what you're there for. No, you're there to help them get through those tough moments so they can build their confidence.
Absolutely.
And interestingly, that's kind of Brio's approach to empowering entrepreneurs. We're here to build your confidence. Mm-hmm. We're here to unleash your natural entrepreneurial spirit so that you can succeed.
I love that. Are you a Ted Lasso fan by chance?
I'm a little, and I don't know all of it, but go ahead.
So there's a character, my favorite character is Roy Kent.
Okay.
And Roy Kent is an ex-soccer player. He's got a girlfriend. Her name is Keely, two very important characters in the show. And Roy does not let Keely move at all through a day without him. He is, and he just because he loves her, right? He loves her a lot. And it's amusing because he learns in a very funny way on the soccer field, actually, that he needs to give his girlfriend space to do what you just said.
Yeah.
We need to allow our staff members to fail, because through failure, they learn. And then when they do fail, not to say, you did that wrong, what a horrible thing. No, hey, now we learned. Hey, this is good. Nothing wrong with
This
failing.
is great to know.
Yeah. And guess what? You may actually fail within that same space again, because you're going to bounce off another wall. But what happens is they slowly figure out their way. Some are faster than others. It doesn't mean that one person is more valuable than the other.
Right.
I think that's a really fascinating thing. All right. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
What is the biggest failure you personally have made?
Okay. Biggest failure I personally have made is that I underestimated what it would take in terms of business development to launch something like this in the market that doesn't have an immediate, oh yeah, we need that. There is an awareness that has to be built. And I relied a little too much on some advice that I had got, that some digital paid media marketing would be the primary strategy. And I think that we need to do a lot more development of partnership and exploration that way. So
is that why you're here?
That's a perfect reason to be here. I think to be honest though, you foresaw something, because you asked me to be a guest on this show long before we ever got to the point of launching.
Yeah.
So
I think what you're doing is extremely valuable. And there are, you've got some competitors out there.
Yeah.
And some of them people know. Here's what I like about what you're doing. You're hyper targeted on the small business to medium-sized business owner, helping them really be that solution. And I'm going to tell you what, all of us need it. Right. And I mentioned the books. I laugh about the books. It stresses me out. And every Friday morning, I circle a box on between 8 and 10 to do accounting work. I will work my butt off not to do it in that block.
Yes.
It's amazing. All of a sudden, my dogs need to be walked.
Yes. Right.
All right. But those are the things. How can I wrap my head around doing that more efficiently and doing it better? Or, if I get a lead, I'm going to run after that lead, and I need to do that. But I still need to honor those time blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to go to a resource like yours and say, okay, how can I wrap my head around this a little better? Get these things done in a smart way. How do I budget? Actually, better yet, why do I budget? And then how do I budget? Because the why is almost as important to how.
And so
you're answering those questions.
And all those courses that are there always start with, why are you doing this? So you understand the intention behind it and can grow from it. And when you get stuck, because we all get stuck, then you have access to every one of the experts. You can request coaching from them. You can request them to just take over part of that aspect for you and say, hey, can you handle this for me? Absolutely.
So I could reach out to the bookkeeper person and they could help me with bookkeeping.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, that's actually really cool.
And then the last part about it is that, look, it just makes a difference to be able to surround it with other entrepreneurs who are going through what you're going through.
Right.
I don't know about you, but friends and family, they're great. They love on me. They're great cheerleaders. They want to have all of us succeed. And having not been here before, they're probably not the best source for advice.
Right. Well, 100%. That's a very good point. Oh my God, that's a whole nother subject. I'm looking at the clock.
Right.
But I will tell you, that is a very good point, that you have to go to the right people and ask the experts who've been there, right? Who have been through the hard knocks, who have made the mistakes, so that you don't have to make as many mistakes as they made. That's the goal. If
you know where the pitfalls are and you can dance gracefully around them, oh my God, so much better than the time and energy it takes to climb out of them.
100%. All right, Carl, where do you want people to go to find you? What's the website?
Okay, briobusinessacademy.com. And we do have something special for your listeners.
What?
Yes, I know. A free 1-month subscription, basic subscription to Brio Business Academy that includes a course of your choice.
Bravo.
So when you go, then you want to use the discount code ePresence.
ePresence. ePresence.
That's the one.
I love that. I think that, I don't know where you got that code from. That's terrific.
This guy, good guy.
Well, I think that is awesome. Thank you for that offer. So for all of you out there that are watching this, if you're catching the recording or you're watching it live, go out and go to briobusinessacademy.com. Grab that code. You can jump in and drop ePresence in there, and you get, did you say one? You get one
free
study?
1 month subscription,
One
and
month?
that includes any course of your choice, any one course. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Well, I think that any business owner would be crazy to miss that opportunity. Carl, thanks for being here today. It's good to see you. I appreciate you more than you know, and I am so glad that you're doing this. I think that you're going to help out a lot of people.
Thanks.
For the rest of you, this show is How's Your ePresence? And we're produced by ePresence, Social Media Solved. Our website is epresence.me. That's epresence.me because it's all about you. We manage personal and company social media. We also offer consulting and training. I'll tell you what, here's the folks that we seem to be connecting with the most. If you're running your own digital marketing firm and you don't like running social media, give us a call. We can team up with you and run your social media for you and, well, for your clients, so you don't have to worry about that social media side. If you're a listener of this show or a watcher, a viewer, not a watcher, then you should take advantage of a discount just by being a viewer. Go to the link on, hopefully it's on the screen. It's e-pr.me/listener. So e-pr.me/listener, and you get an opportunity to take a 5% discount on all of our services. How's Your ePresence is everywhere. We broadcast live each month here at Business Radio X on the third Thursday at 3, but you can listen to any of our shows 24/7 by going to businessradiox.com and selecting the Gwinnett Studio. You can also find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Wherever you are, please subscribe. That way, you know when we go live. If you like podcasts, be sure to add us to your podcast app. Get more information about all of that at epresence.me/podcast. That's epresence.me/podcast. Our in-house producer is Mackenzie Munzer. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Our Business Radio X production crew is Mike Salmon and his protege, Connor Salmon. Until next time, for my guest, Carl Nicpon, I'm Mark Galvin. Thank you for joining How's Your ePresence?